My name is David Farron. I am 19 years old. I'm from a town outside of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania called Unionville. I'm a student at Parsons New School for Design, and my future endeavors include fashion design. I'm designing a collection for a fashion competition between FIT and Parsons School Design. We had to put together a collection of 5 garments. You have to come up with a theme or something to go on, and my concept is a building versus cloud concept with elements of buildings and elements of clouds, and this whole concept on structure versus nature and how they kind of fight all the time. And so we had to design it all, and then we had to present it in some way that would benefit our collection. So I just kind of took a more of a professional route where I actually just did very nice watercolors of each design that I was doing, and then had a simple layout and simple stuff. I saw many people who did some really creative things with putting them in boxes and like doing these really cool presentations, but I just went with a simple look at my clothes designs for the application. So this is actually my application. I titled it Walking After Midnight, which is actually a Patsy Cline song that I was trying to think of a title, and I was just walking to, taking off the elevator, and I was walking after midnight, and it just kind of came to me. It was a song that my mom always played when I was younger, and it really fits the collection nicely. This is my first design, and the way it goes for me is I design something and then I work with it on the mannequin, and it usually changes and develops and usually becomes better. Hopefully it won't get worse. I've been a football player for 12 years, and so I grew up with it. I started when I was 6, and I've always done football and always had my arts and painting on the side and everything. And then my junior year, I had a major shoulder injury where I chipped my scapula and had to have surgery. And so that ended that season. And then my senior year, I broke my arm right at the beginning of the season, so I couldn't play. And basically, I tried to fill my time. And what my friend and I decided to do was do our school's fashion show. And we put together a collection of 6 garments, and that's how I started fashion design. I specialize in more of an art form rather than a ready-to-wear. There's definitely different categories in fashion. There's ready-to-wear, there's couture, there's whatever you can think of, they have it. And I would say I'm more of an art. I'm more of a sculptor rather than a clothing designer. I feel like the body is a canvas that you can add to as a sculpture. So I do more sculptural elements. What I really love about it is it's a combination of kind of all the arts that I've learned up until this point. I can add painting elements, composition, color, sculpture. It's a really wide range field. So I don't try to think about it too much because that's when I get caught up. So what I actually do is I start out by doing hundreds of just simple sketches with just that go along with my kind of concept that I work with, that I'm working with a collection, and then I just go from there. So these are my very preliminary drawings. These are the first sketches that I actually did. Well, in the immediate future, I plan to continue studying and hopefully get internships in the city and just working my way up. I mean, I know that the way people start is you start working as an intern, and then maybe you start doing swatches for a designer. You start out kind of at the bottom and then work your way up. And then eventually I would love to have my own design company where I can be kind of in charge of all of it and do fashion shows and just get my work out there. It's a lot of little stages, but this is kind of the second stage after it goes from a sketch for me. But I take the fabric that I have and work with it on a mannequin until I get something that I like, and then I sew it. Well, my main influences come from my family. I mean, a lot of people have designers that are main influences, but what it comes down to is if you have designers as main influences, then you almost get stuck in what other people have designed. So I feel like my family, my mother's an art teacher, my father's a carpenter and contractor and is now moving into more architecture, and my grandfather was a teacher and architect. So like I get a lot of influences from things that they do. I know that my dad helped me with all the metal work that I'm doing, and so it's just nice to have people that know what they're doing in different aspects of the art community. I love painting. I've always been a painter and I will never stop being a painter, but with fashion you can incorporate the things that you learn from things like painting, and you can put it into clothing and then have it as a wearable art rather than just a canvas in a museum. So I think that's the most interesting part. Working in New York City has kind of been the best thing that's happened to me. It's just a really great community where you can meet a ton of people, and if anyone's going into the arts, I would suggest check out New York City. There's a lot going on here and you can do anything. There's so many opportunities here, and I'm right at the bottom and gonna work my way up just like every artist. And so if you're an artist, just start working, work your ass off.